All right, so today we're diving into a really specific guide for Christian parents, breaking down its core ideas on raising children. But here's the thing, it doesn't just start with a list of rules. Nope, it all kicks off with this single, powerful, and honestly, a kind of unsettling metaphor.
Okay, let's get right into the heart of this philosophy, which is built around this one big idea, the art of ruin. And the concept is, well, it's simple, but it's really profound. It says the greatest danger to anything precious isn't some big deliberate act of destruction, it's just neglect.
So the source starts by asking this fascinating question. And notice, it's not asking how you would actively smash or destroy something. The question is, how do you just let it fall apart?
And the answer it gives? Well, if you want to ruin a beautiful garden, you don't need to go out there with a shovel or poison. You just have to do nothing. Seriously, just walk away. The weeds will take over, and that garden will absolutely ruin itself.
And you know, the source argues this very same principle applies to our relationships. You don't need some huge fight or a big betrayal to kill a friendship. You just stop calling, stop putting in the effort, and you can just watch it fade away.
And this, right here, is where that metaphor really hits home. The core idea of this whole guide is that the easiest, most surefire way to ruin a child is to simply leave them to their own devices. No guidance, no care, no intentional effort at all.
So, keeping that idea of neglect in mind, the guide then lays out this very direct list of warnings, and it's framed in this provocative, almost sarcastic way, like a how-to guide for failing as a parent. Now, the source lists 10 of these fatal flaws, but let's just look at these 6 key examples. What's so wild is how each one, on the surface, might look like an act of kindness, but it's actually a form of neglect. I mean, think about it. Give them everything they ask for doesn't teach generosity, it teaches them they're the center of the entire universe. Clean up all their messes teaches them there are no consequences, and always take their side? Well, that just teaches a kid that they're always right and everyone else is wrong.
Okay, so after laying out the problem, neglect, the source pivots to the solution. And what's interesting is it doesn't start with rules for the kids. It starts with the foundation itself, the family environment.
This slide really gets to the heart of it. The source makes this super sharp distinction between a house, which, is just a building, it's sticks and bricks, and a home. A home isn't just shelter. It's a living, breathing sanctuary of relationships that you have to actively build and take care of.
And the guide is crystal clear on this. The responsibility for building that home falls squarely on the parents. They're not just living there, they're the architects. They're the primary role models.
And this leads to such a crucial point. Parents are the main curriculum in a child's life. I mean, get this. The source claims that 70 to 80% of a person's core personality is pretty much locked in by age 7. That's huge. It means that whether parents realize it or not, they are always teaching. Their own actions are the real lesson plan, day in and day out.
So if parents are supposed to be actively gardening, how exactly are they supposed to do it? It's more than just avoiding those fatal flaws. The guide actually offers a few key frameworks for how to engage.
So check this out. The guide lays out 4 common parenting styles. You've got negligent over here. That's basically no love and no discipline. On the other extreme, you have authoritarian, all discipline, no love. Then there's permissive, which is all love but zero discipline. But the source argues that the sweet spot, the one that really works, is authoritative. It's the only one that balances high levels of love and high levels of discipline.
But it's not just about discipline. The source puts a huge emphasis on communication. And this quote just captures it perfectly. Dialogue is like the lifeblood of a family. When it stops, the relationship just withers. But, and this is the really hopeful part, dialogue also has the power to bring a relationship back from the dead.
This whole approach really boils down to a pretty deep philosophical idea, treating your child like a whole person, not like some project you have to manage. The source even brings up the philosopher Martin Buber and his concept of an I-thou relationship. Put simply, it's the difference between seeing your child as a unique individual, a thou, versus seeing them as just an object to be controlled or fixed, an it.
So finally, the guide connects all this practical, hands-on advice back to its spiritual foundation. What's the ultimate goal? What's the whole point of all this hard work?
And right here, we see this fundamental shift in focus. The guide says that for parents, the most important question isn't, what will you become? As in, what job will you get? What success will you have? No, the focus needs to be on, how will you live?
It's all about prioritizing character and values over career and worldly achievements.
This verse is really presented as the cornerstone promise for this entire philosophy. It's the belief that all that early intentional work, all that active gardening, creates a foundation of character that is going to last a lifetime. And so we end up right back where we started, with that same powerful metaphor. The guide leaves us with its central idea turned into one final, reflective question for all of us. How is the garden of your family being tended? Is it being cultivated with active love and care, or is it just being left alone?